Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2026. Today I'm going to recap the weekend's NBA, NHL, baseball, soccer, look ahead to today, and then some for tomorrow in each sport. NASCAR, I'll have an NFL mock draft for you guys on this day. We'll talk about the episode of Survivor from last week. News and notes and best bet, but we have to start with the Masters. It was very fun to watch, and for the second consecutive year, Rory McIlroy has done the damn thing. Very happy for him. He, I think, got really comfortable with Augusta, and I think him getting over the hump last year kind of took some pressure off of him in a weird way, because I feel like all the pressure was on Scotty, because Scotty's the best golfer in the world, but Rory's right there, and he earns $4.5 million from this. So congrats to Rory. Scotty came in second with 11 under, earning over $2 million. Tie for third, 10 under, Tyrell Hatton, Russell Henley, Justin Rose, Cam Young. Tie for seventh with 9 under, Sam Burns, Colin Morikawa. Tie for ninth, 8 under, Xander Schauffele, Max Homa. 11th with 7 under, Jake Knapp. Tie for 12, 5 under, Jordan Spieth, Hideki Matsuyama, Brooks Koepka, who was my pick, Patrick Cantlay, Patrick Reed, Jason Day. Tie for 18th with 4 under, Matt McNeely, Victor Hovland, Matt Fitzpatrick. Tie for 21st, 3 under, Keegan Bradley, Lovey Gayberg, Wyndham Clark, Matt McCarty. Tie for 24th with 2 under with Adam Scott, Sam Stevens, Brian Campbell, Chris Goddard, Michael Brennan. Tie for 30th, 1 under, Alex Ryan, Harry English, Shane Lowry. Tie for 33rd at even, Gary Woodland, Dustin Johnson, Brian Harmon, Tommy Fleetwood, Ben Griffin. Tie for 38th with 1 over, John Rahm, Ryan Gerard, Hatong Lee, Justin Thomas. Was tied for 41st with 2 over with Jacob Bridgman, Sepp Straka, Nick Taylor, Christopher Ratine. 46th, 3 over Sanjay M. 47th, 4 over Siwoo Kim. 48th, 5 over Aaron Ray. Tied for 49th with 6 over Corey Connors, Marco Penge. 51st with 7 over Kurt Katayama. 52nd with 8 over Sergio Garcia. 53rd, 10 over Rasmus Højgaard. 54th with 12 over Carl Schwartzel. Among those cut, Harry Hall, Ryan Fox, Danny Willett, Bubba Watson, J.J. Spud, Nicholas Højgaard, Bryson DeChambeau, Zach Johnson, H.K. Bahita, Robert McIntyre, Andrew Novak, Tom McKibben, Michael Kim, Fred Couples, Mike Weir, Vijay Singh, Sammy Valimaki, Minwoo Lee, Max Tracerman, Nico Echevarria, and Davis Riley. All right, so there you have it for the Masters. Like I said, congrats to Rory. Well deserved. He had to earn it though at the end, because Scotty was coming for him, and then the guys that finished 2 back of him were coming, and it wasn't a blowout, just like last year. But I think him winning last year certainly really helped him this year because of the no pressure. Coming up, beginning on Thursday, the RBC Heritage. Justin Thomas won that last year. So, we'll see who I end up picking for that tournament when that comes around. All right, now we'll recap the NBA from the weekend. We have no NBA tonight, obviously. We have the play-in games tomorrow, which we'll preview and pick on the podcast. And I think I might do a separate show maybe tomorrow, doing my first round predictions. We have a 9-10 tomorrow and a 7-8, which is odd. I guess it had to do with like arena stuff. Maybe like there must be like a Flyers game or something that they couldn't cooperate. So that's what my assumption is, because I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, who's hosting a game that also has a hockey team? It was obviously Philly, but the Clippers don't play at the same arena as the Kings and the Lakers anymore, so that wouldn't Makes sense. So Friday results. Pistons over the Hornets 118-100. Heat over the Wizards 140-117. Hawks over the Cavs 124-102. Celtics over the Pelicans 144-118. Sixers over the Pacers 105-94. Knicks over the Raptors 112-95. Magic over the Bulls 127-103. Bucks over the Nets 125-108. Spurs over the Magic 139-120. Nuggets over the Thunder 127-107. T-Wolves over the Rockets 136-132. Jazz over the Grizzlies 147-101. Blazers over the Clippers 116-97. Kings over the Warriors 124-118. Lakers over the Suns 101-73. And then Sunday, Celtics over the Magic 113-108. Hornets over the Knicks 110-96. Cavs over the Wizards 130-117. Pistons over the Pacers 133-121. Heat over the Hawks 143-117. Sixers over the Bucks 126-106. The Raptors over the Nets 136-101. Mavs over the Bulls 149-128. Rockets over the Grizzlies 132-101. T-Wolves over the Pelicans 132-126. Suns over the Thunder 135-103. Nuggets over the Spurs 128-118. Lakers over the Jazz 131-107. Clippers over the Warriors 115-110. And the Blazers over the Kings 122-110. So a lot of high-scoring games on the final day of the season. There's a lot of tanking going on. Nobody playing defense. So there you have it for the NBA. Hockey. We'll go over the weekend's games, and we have a lot of games tonight. Saturday, there are no games on Friday. So Saturday, Lightning over the Bruins 2-1. Sens over the Isles 3-0. Caps over the Penguins 6-3. Kings over the Oilers 1-0. Devils over the Red Wings 5-3. Stars over the Rangers 2-0. Blues over the Blackhawks 5-3. Preds over the Wild 2-1. Canes over the Mammoth 4-1. Panthers over the Leafs 6-2. Jackets over the Habs 5-2. Flyers over the Jets 7-1. Kraken over the Flames 4-1. Golden Knights over the Avs 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Jack Eichel. That game was on ABC. That was a big win for Vegas. And the Canucks over the Sharks 4-3 in a shootout. And then Sunday, Caps over the Pens 3-0. Habs over the Isles 4-1. The Islanders got eliminated. Bruins over the Blue Jackets 3-2. Devils over the Sens 4-3 in OT. With a goal by Nico Hischier. Canucks over the Ducks 4-3 in OT on a game winner by Marco Rossi. Bad loss for Anaheim. Flames over the Mammoth 4-1. All right, tonight, 7 o'clock, Rangers-Panthers, two disappointing Eastern Conference teams that a lot of people will probably predict to be good next year. I mean, Florida is obviously dependent on Bobrovsky. We'll get more into the hockey offseason and whatnot, and Rangers may have guys to trade, but there's a chance that both these teams are rebuilding next year, but there's also a chance that both these teams are contenders next year too. So we'll see. Rangers are favored -156. Panthers +130. Over under 6.5. Overs +106. Unders -130. Rangers -1.5 +160. Panthers +1.5 is -205. I'm gonna go with over 6.5 +106. I'm surprised that New York's favored. Red Wings Lightning. The Red Wings, are they eliminated yet? Yes. So another disappointing year for the Red Wings, who now have the longest playoff drought in the league. Lightning -200, Red Wings +164, over under 6.5, overs +102, unders -128. Red Wings +1.5 is -142, Lightning -1.5 +116. All right, so the Lightning, that division is not done yet. They have 2 games left. Montreal has to lose, and Buffalo has to lose. So Tampa still has like a shot at the division. They got to win. I'm going to go over 6.5 at +102. Hurricanes, Flyers. Philly in third in the division. So, third place in the Metro is still there for the taking. Could be Philly, could be Washington, could be Columbus. Yeah, so the Metro, outside of Carolina, I think it proved to be a little weeny bit overrated. Flyers are a huge favorite at home, -164. The Canes are +136, over under 5.5. Overs -130, unders +106. Canes +1.5 is -96. Flyers -1.5 +158. So the Canes are just resting people now. We're getting ready for the playoffs. They're doing the right thing. You don't want your guys getting hurt. It's funny because I feel like sometimes teams kill the NFL players for like sitting in the last game of the regular season, not caring about seeding and caring about keeping the guys healthy. But if it's an absolutely meaningless game and you know who you're playing and everything, then you rest it up. So I have reservations for that, because if it's a meaningful game, you play everybody, because you never know what could happen. So I'm trying to find hmm the regulation line. I guess they don't do that anymore. Like the Panthers in regulation, or I'm sorry, the Flyers in regulation, which I don't like that anymore. That you can't bet on. But yeah, this is weird. 'Cause I was gonna do Flyers in regulation, but I'm gonna go under 5.5 plus 106. I don't know why they took that away. 7:30 Stars Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs very disappointing year. They're right there at the Rangers and the Panthers, so most disappointing teams. The Stars are a big favorite, -196. The Leafs are +162 over under 6.5, -28. Stars -1.5 +128. Leafs +1.5 -158. I like the under in that game. And the Stars, I guess they are locked into the 2 seed, and I guess they are going to play the Wild in round 1. So I guess that's a done deal. And Colorado clinched the President's Trophy. Um, Wild Blues. So the Blues eliminated, right? Yeah. Yeah, Winnipeg and San Jose are probably out the door any second in terms of their chances of making it. Connor Hellebuck's injury cost the Jets, in my opinion, earlier in the year. They never recovered from it. Blues -176, Wild +146, over under 5.5, overs -114, unders -106. Wild +1.5, -188, Blues -1.5, +152. The Wild have everything wrapped up. They're playing the Stars, so I guess they're resting their dudes. I'm gonna go with the over. Um, Sharks Preds, huge game. Nashville needs to win. Both teams have to win, really. The Preds are -156. The Sharks +130, over under 6.5, -10 each way. Sharks +1.5, -92. Preds -1.5, +154. The Sharks have had an admirable year, but I think they die here. I'm taking the Preds to win. But I'll go under 6.5, -110. I think the Preds still hang around. Sabres Blackhawks. Sabres need the game for the division. They're -205 favorites. The Blackhawks +168, over under 6.5. Overs -8, unders -12. Sabres -1.5, +114. Blackhawks +1.5, -140. I'm gonna lay the puck line with the Sabres. I can't believe I'm doing that. I don't think I've ever done that. Been picking hockey games on the show. 9:30. Avalanche Oilers. Avs have the President's Trophy locked up. They should be resting their dudes. Edmonton clinched, but still divisions up in the air. The Avs are -120 favorites. The Oilers are even money, over under 6.5. Overs -115. Unders -105. Avs -1.5, +198. Oilers +1.5, -250. I'm gonna go with the Oilers at home at even money. The Avs shouldn't really care about this game. Kings Kraken at 9:30 on ESPN. Huge must-win game for the Los Angeles Kings. They're -128 favorites. The Kraken are +146, over under 5.5. Overs -128, unders +104. Kings -1.5, +134. Kraken +1.5, -172. I'm gonna go with under 5.5 at +104. And last but not least, Jets Golden Knights. Golden Knights need the game for the division. They're -178 favorites. Winnipeg's +146, over under 5.5. Overs -134, unders +110. Jets +1.5 is -168. Golden Knights -1.5, +136. I'm going with the under at plus money. Now move on to baseball, and we will look ahead to today's games. Interesting weekend in baseball, to say the least. Friday, Pirates over the Cubs 2-0, so best bet lost. D-backs over the Phillies 5-4. Tigers over the Marlins 2-0. Angels over the Reds 10-2. Jays over the Twins 10-4. A's over the Mets 4-0. Rays over the Yankees 5-3. Braves over the Guardians 11-5. Giants over the O's 6-3. Royals over the White Sox 2-0. Nats over the Brewers 7-3. Cards over the Red Sox 3-2. Padres over the Rockies 5-2. Mariners over the Astros 9-6. Dodgers over the Rangers 8-7. All right, Saturday, Phillies over the D-backs 4-3. Tigers over the Marlins 6-1. Pirates over the Cubs 4-3-11. Twins over the Jays 7-4. Reds over Angels 7-3. Rays over the Yankees 5-4-10 on a walk-off fielder's choice. Jazz Chisholm with the blunder there that cost the Yankees. A's over the Mets 11-6. Royals over the White Sox 2-0. Nats over the Brewers 3-1. Guardians over the Braves 6-0. O's over the Giants 6-2. Red Sox over the Cards 7-1. Padres over the Rockies 9-5. Dodgers over the Rangers 6-3. And Mariners over the Astros 8-7. All right, and then yesterday, D-backs over the Phillies 4-3. O's over the Giants 6-2. Rays over the Yankees 5-4. Twins over the Jays 8-2. Angels over the Reds 9-6. A's over the Mets 1-0. Tigers over the Marlins 8-2. White Sox over the Royals 6-5. Nats over the Brewers 8-6. Red Sox over the Cardinals 9-3. Cubs over the Pirates 7-6. Padres over the Rockies 7-2. Mariners over the Astros 6-1. Rangers over the Dodgers 5-2. Braves over the Guardians 13-1 on the first Sunday night baseball of the season. All right, not a lot of games today. 4 o'clock, Astros Mariners from Seattle. Mariners minus 174, Astros plus 146, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105, Astros plus 1.5 is minus 108, Mariners minus 1.5 plus 115. And by the way, the starting pitchers, Mike Burrows and George Kirby. So both these teams off the slow starts. Mariners a little surprising. They're 7-9. I like the over in this game. 6:30 D-backs O's. O's tied for first in the AL East with the Yankees' 5-game losing streak. Ryan Nelson and Dean Kremer. Dean Kremer making his season debut. O's are minus 130, D-backs plus 110, over under 8.5. Overs minus 122, unders even money. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 200. O's minus 1.5 plus 164. For this one, I'm going to go... This is a harder one. I'm going to go alternate total runs over 9.5 plus 126. Cubs, Phillies on Fox Sports 1. Both teams 7-8. Javier Assad, Chris Sanchez. A lot of these teams that are supposed to be good are off the bad starts. And the Yankees just kind of fell apart. They were off to a good start. The only team that's doing good, that's expected to be good, is the Dodgers. Phillies minus 184, Cubs plus 154, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 140. Phillies minus 1.5 plus 116. I don't hate the Cubs as a dog, but they're going against the wrong pitcher. I'm going with the under. I like the under in this game a lot. Nats Pirates. Kate Savali and Paul Skeens. Pirates minus 225. Nats plus 188. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 132. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 plus 102. This is a Paul Skeens bounce back bet for me here. I'm going alternate under 6.5 plus 138. 7 o'clock, Angels Yankees from the Bronx. A lot of pressure on the Yankees. They, dare I say, have to sweep the Angels. Yusei Kikuchi, Will Warren. Yanks minus 196, Angels plus 164, over under 9.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 118. Yanks minus 1.5 minus 102. This feels like a Yankees blowout smash spot, similar to that first game against Oakland. Give me the Yankees on the run line minus 1.5 minus 102. I think this is a good bounce back opportunity for the Yankees against. I know the Angels are 500, but they're bad. 17 Marlins Braves. Yuri Perez, Grant Holmes. Braves minus 148, Marlins plus 126, over under 8.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 72, Braves minus 1.5 plus 142. I'm going with the over at even money. 7:30, Red Sox Twins. Red Sox, another team that is off to a slow start. Garrett Crochet, Bailey Ober. Red Sox minus 172, Twins plus 144, over under 7.5, overs minus 1, or even money, unders minus 122. Red Sox minus 1.5 plus 102, Twins plus 1.5, it's minus 122. This is similar to the Yankees. I'm laying it with the run line with the Red Sox. They've kind of turned it around after, what were they, 2-8? And everybody was freaking out in Boston. Now they're 6-9, so they're playing a little better. So I'm going to lay the run line with the Red Sox. 7:45, Guardians, Cardinals. Both teams off the surprising scores. Gavin Williams and Matthew Liberatore. Guardians minus 116, Cards minus 102, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Guardians minus 1.5 plus 140, Cards plus 1.5 minus 170. I'm laying the minus 116 with the Cleveland Guardians. 9:30, Rangers, A's. Nate Eovaldi, Luis Severino. Rangers minus 132, A's plus 112, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Rangers minus 1.5 plus 132, A's plus 1.5 is minus 160. I'm going with the over here. Both these pitchers off to slow starts this year, although Severino was better against his old team the other day. And then 10 o'clock tonight, Mets, Dodgers. David Peterson, Justin Werblowski. Mets are 7-9, Dodgers best team in baseball, 11-4 of course. Dodgers minus 166, Mets plus 140, over under 8.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 142, Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 118. I'm going with the over. I think the Dodgers are going to score a lot of runs tonight, and this is the wrong series for the Mets to get themselves right here. Now I'm going to go over the soccer from yesterday and Saturday and Friday. And then we'll look ahead to everything for today and tomorrow. Can't believe the World Cup's coming up, which is crazy. All right, Friday results. EPL, West Ham over Wolverhampton 4-0. La Liga, Real Madrid, Girona 1-1 draw. Bundesliga, FC Augsburg, TSG Hoffenheim 2-2 draw. Liga MX, Lyon over Puebla 1-0. Tijuana over FC Juarez 2-1. Serie A, AS Roma over Pisa 3-0. French League 1, Paris FC over AS Monaco 4-1. Marseille over Metz 3-1. ELC, West Brom, Millwall 0-0 draw. Dutch Eredivisie, FC 20 over FC Volendam 2-1. Saudi Pro League, Al Shabab Al Ittihad was postponed. USL, Loudoun United and Louisville City FC 3-3 draw. All right, Saturday, EPL, AFC Bournemouth over Arsenal 2-1. Everton, Brentford 2-2 draw. Brighton and Hove over Burnley 2-0. Liverpool over Fulham 2-0. La Liga, Real Sociedad, Alaves 3-2 draw. Elche over Valencia 1-0. Barcelona over Espanyol 4-1. Sevilla over Atletico Madrid 2-1. Bundesliga, FC Heidenheim over FC Union Berlin 3-1. Bayer Leverkusen over Dortmund 1-0. RP Leipzig over Borussia 1-0. Frankfurt over VfL Wolfsburg 2-1. And Bayern over St. Pauli 5-0. MLS, Toronto, Cincy, 1-1 draw. Galaxy over Austin, 2-1. The Union over CF Montreal, 2-1. Portland over LAFC, 2-1. Nashville FC over Charlotte, 2-1. Inter Miami Red Bulls, 2-2 draw. The Revolution over DC United, 1-0. Vancouver over NYCFC, 2-0. Chicago over Atlanta, 1-0. Dallas, St. Louis, 1-1 draw. San Jose over Sporting KC 3-1. Colorado over Houston 6-2. And Minnesota over San Diego 2-1. In Liga MX, Querétaro over Necaxa 3-1. Tigres over Guadalajara 4-1. Atlas Monterrey 0-0 draw. Pachuca over Santos 4-2. America Cruz Azul 1-1 draw. Serie A, Cagliari over Cremonese 1-0. Torino over Verona 2-1. Udinese over AC Milan 3-0. And Juventus over Atalanta 1-0. French League 1, AJ Auxerre, Nantes 0-0 draw. And Rennes over Angers 2-1. ELC, Coventry City, Sheffield Wednesday 0-0 draw. Ipswich Town over Norwich City 2-0. Queen's Park, Bristol City 0-0 draw. Preston over Charlton 2-1. Swansea City over Leicester City 1-0. Portsmouth over Borough 1-0. Oxford over Watford 2-0. Sheffield United over the Hull City 2-1. Southampton over Derby County 2-1. And Stoke City Blackburn 1-1 draw. Dutch Eredivisie FC Utrecht over Telstar 4-1. PSV Eindhoven over Sparta 2-0. FC Groningen Go Ahead Eagles 1-0 draw. Ajax over Heracles 3-0. And the Pro League, Al Khalij Al Hilal postponed. Al Ali Al Fateh postponed. Al Najma over Niam SC 2-1. Al Khalod over Al Tawad 2-1. Al Hazim Al Faya, that was 2-0. And over Hazim over Faya. And Al Nasser Al Akdod 2-0. Women's friendlies. Australia over Malawi 5-0. Canada over Zambia 2-0. US over Japan 2-1. Brazil over South Korea 5-1. Premiership. Aberdeen over Hibernian 2-0. Celtic over St. Mirren 1-0. Dundee United over Livingston 3-2. Hearts over Motherwell 3-1. Kilmarnock Dundee 2-2 draw. And then Sunday, EPL Crystal Palace over Newcastle 2-1. Nottingham Aston Villa 1-1 draw. Sunderland over Tottenham 1-0. Man City over Chelsea 3-0. La Liga Osasuna Real Betis 1-1 draw. Mallorca over Real Valenciano 3-0. Real Oviedo over Celta Vigo 3-0. Villarreal over Athletic Club 2-1. Bundesliga FC Cologne over Bremen 3-1. VfB Stuttgart over Hamburg 4-0. SC Freiburg over Mainz 1-0. MLS Columbus Orlando 1-1 draw. Liga MX Unam over Mazatlan 3-1. Toluca Atletico 1-1 draw. Serie A Genoa over Sassuolo 2-1. Parma Napoli 0-0 1-1 draw. Bologna over Lecce 2-0. Inter over Como 4-3. French League 1, Le Havre AC Nice 1-1 draw. Lille over Toulouse 4-0. In Lyon over Lorient 2-0. ELC Birmingham City over Wrexham 2-0. Dutch Eredivisie Fortuna NAC Breda 1-1 draw. NEC Nijmegen over Feyenoord. That was 1-1 draw. PC Zwolle Excelsior 2-2 draw. AZ Alkmaar over Heerenveen 3-0. In the Premiership, Rangers over Falkirk 6-3. And then today, going on now, EPL Man United leads. In EPL, La Liga, Levante, Getafe, Serie A, Fiorentina, Lazio. And then tomorrow, Pro League 2 o'clock, Al Qadiash and Al Shabab. We have CONCACAF tomorrow, but we'll do that on tomorrow's show. Champions League tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona minus 125, Atletico Madrid plus 280, draw plus 340. This is a good one. I'm going to go with over 3.5 goals minus 114. And Madrid leads 2-0 in aggregate. And then also 3 o'clock, Liverpool, PSG. PSG up 2-0 on aggregate. PSG's plus 150, Liverpool plus 140, draw plus 330. I'm going with the draw plus 330. I think that's a very valuable pick. And then ELC, 3 o'clock, Portsmouth and Ipswich Town. Ipswich minus 120, Portsmouth plus 320, draw plus 250. This is a hard one. So I'm going to go over 2.5 goals minus 102. And then Southampton, Blackburn. Southampton minus 190, Blackburn plus 470, draws 3-1. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at even money. Now I'll move on to NASCAR. Everybody raced at Bristol over the weekend. We'll start with Cup, which was yesterday. Your winner was Ty Gibbs. Coming in second was Ryan Blaney. Third, Kyle Larson. Fourth, Tyler Riddick. Fifth, Chase Briscoe. Sixth, Todd Gilliland. Seventh, Joey Logano. Eighth, Ryan Preece. Ninth, Denny Hamlin. 10th, Carson Hosfar. The rest, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, Ricky Stones Jr., Austin Dillon, Zane Smith, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, Kyle Busch, Noah Gragson, Chris Bell, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, William Byron, Cody Ware, Josh Berry, Connor Zilch, Shane Van Gisbergen, John Hunter Nemechek, Chad Fincham, and Alex Bowman. In the No App series, O'Reilly. Connor Zilch comes in first. Good for him. Kyle Larson second. Brent Cruz coming in third. Justin Allgaier in fourth. Connor Vappel In 5th, 6th, Sheldon Creed. 7th, William Sawalich. 8th, Connor Day. 9th, Parker Retzlaff. 10th, Tanner Gray. The rest, Ryan Sieg, Jesse Love, Sammy Smith, Raja Cruz, Jeremy Clemens, Jeb Burton, Harrison Burton, Brendan Poole, Brendan Jones, Sam Meyer, Austin Hill, Blaine Perkins, Josh Belicki, Dean Thompson, Kyle Sieg, JJ Ely, Patrick Strapoli, Greg Galding, Josh Williams, Ryan Ellis, Joey Gase, LeVar Scott, Logan Bearden, Blake Lothian, Austin Green, Anthony Alfredo, Mason Maggio, and Garrett Smithley. And then the Truck Series, which was Friday night from Bristol. Winning the race was Chris Bell. Coming in second was Chandler Smith. Third, Gio Ruggiero. Fourth, Ross Chastain. Fifth, Christian X. Sixth, Jake Garcia. Seventh, Dawson Sutton. 8th, Kyle Busch. 9th, Carson Osvar. 10th, Brendan Queen. The rest, Ben Rhodes, Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Ingram. I said Tanner Ingram. Chase Briscoe, Justin Haley, Stuart Friesen, Andres Perez de Lara, Daniel Suarez, Mini Tyrell, Tanner Gray, Caleb Ferguson, Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski, Spencer Boyd, Chris Wright, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Grant Effinger, Cole Butcher, Corey LaJoy, Corey Heim, Caden Honeycutt, Luke Baldwin, Timmy Hill, Tyler Reef, Frankie Muniz, and Clayton Green. So there you have it from NASCAR. No Truck Series until May 1st. Cup and O'Reilly are at Kansas this weekend coming up. So we'll talk about that later in the week. Okay. I did an NFL mock draft, my first one of the year. I'll probably do one on the Wednesday show, one on the Friday show, and then every day next week. And then the draft is Thursday night. All right. So here we go. The first edition of my 2026 NFL mock draft. Number 1, the Las Vegas Raiders. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. This is a slam dunk selection for the Raiders as they have themselves a possible franchise quarterback for the first time in a long time. He has a rocket arm, delivers under pressure, and has great work ethic. Number 2, the New York Jets. Arvell Reese, edge, Ohio State. Reese's draft stock rose over the past month or so that he's the consensus choice here for the 2 spot. He's a hybrid player, but many expect him to be a full-time edge at the pro level with his athletic traits. Third, the Arizona Cardinals. Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle, Miami. The Cardinals have needs everywhere, including quarterback, but they go with the tackle here in Mauigoa, who has some injury concerns coming in. He is a well-rounded player who allowed 0 sacks this past season. 4, Tennessee Titans. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. The Titans are a team that are long-term on the rise, and Love does make sense here to help out Cam Ward. He's arguably the most talented running back drafted this high since Saquon Barkley, and is certainly a game breaker. 5, New York Giants. Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State. This pick makes so much sense as the Giants finally get a long-term piece in the middle with Styles. He's a physical player. He runs with tight ends and running backs and really stood out at the combine. 6, the Cleveland Browns. Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. The Browns are still in rebuild mode and they can use a talent like Tate regardless who's at quarterback since they lack a true WR1. He's great downfield and has a knack of making contested catches. 7, Washington Commanders. David Bailey, edge, Texas Tech. The Commanders landing Bailey here is a major steal considering he's been mocked as high as 3 to the Cardinals. They finally replaced lost production from the likes of Montez Sweat as Bailey's a sack machine and is great with pressuring. 8, New Orleans Saints. Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. The Saints showed some strides in the second half of the season, but they still have a lot of needs, and landing the draft's best defensive back is a start. Downs can play anywhere on the field, essentially, and is a smart player too. 9, Kansas City Chiefs. Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC. The Chiefs' offense last season was erratic, and Lemon here makes sense with all of the Chiefs' wide receiver room uncertainty. He knows how to get open, he's hard to take down, and would be a very valuable long-term piece for Patrick Mahomes. 10, the Cincinnati Bengals. Reuben Bain Jr., edge, Miami. The Bengals landing Bain at this spot is an absolute steal considering that he was mocked as high as 2 to the Jets. This is a logical Trey Hendrickson replacement as he is a pressure machine in spite of some arm length concerns. That's why he's dropped. 11, Miami Dolphins. Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU. The Dolphins need talent everywhere as well as they should be happy with Delane at 11 considering they have a serious need at defensive back. He excels in coverage as he did not allow a touchdown all season long. 12, the Dallas Cowboys. Jermon McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee. The Cowboys are dying to trade up to get blue chippers on defense, but here they settle with the corner in McCoy. Coming off a torn ACL, he had a great pro day and has great size and ball production. 13, Los Angeles Rams from the Atlanta Falcons. Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. This pick could be trade bait for the Rams to go acquire a big-name player that's unhappy, like Dexter Lawrence or somebody like that. But Monroe also makes sense here. He has a high ceiling for a left tackle, and I do think he could go this high, and this obviously would be a replacement for Rob Havenstein as well. 14, the Baltimore Ravens. Vega Ione, interior offensive line, Penn State. This pick would make a lot of sense with Tyler Linderbaum out of the picture. Another player that did not allow a sack or pressure this past season is exactly what Lamar Jackson needs to keep him upright. 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Keldrick Falk, edge, Auburn. The Buccaneers are in a weird spot as they can either end up being a contender or possibly picking in top 10 of next year's draft. Falk is a polarizing prospect who is a versatile player and has a high ceiling. 16, New York Jets from the Indianapolis Colts. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. The Jets luck out in the Sauce Gardner trade to get a mid-first rounder as they take a super talent here in Tyson. He's super fast and explosive and has health issues, what has cost him to be a higher pick. And he would be a good compliment to Garrett Wilson as well, if the Jets were to keep him. 17, Detroit Lions. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah. This was a slam dunk pick for the Lions considering they have to replace Taylor Decker, and Fano could go higher than this possibly. He could start at either tackle or at guard and also is a freak athlete. 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Dylan Theinman, safety, Oregon. Theinman is someone that is a fast riser in this class, and he makes sense for the Vikings with Harrison Smith possibly not returning. He is someone that can create turnovers and is a great athlete and also great against the run. 19, the Carolina Panthers. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. I absolutely love the fit here with Sadiq going to the up-and-coming Panthers who almost upset the Rams in the postseason. Sadiq is an excellent, versatile pass catcher, and the Panthers can use that in their offense to help Bryce Young take that next step. Number 20, the Dallas Cowboys from the Green Bay Packers. Akeem Mesidor, edge, Miami. The Packers losing early in the playoffs helps the Cowboys here as they land an interesting prospect in Mesidor. Despite being older and having injury concerns, he plays all three downs and has good technique. Number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. This is a great choice for the Steelers, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or someone else at quarterback. Cooper Jr. gets open a lot and is a great catch, or great after the catch, and would fit well with DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman Jr. in the fall. 22, the Los Angeles Chargers. Casey Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M. The Chargers can go anywhere with this pick because they can absolutely win that division this upcoming season with the right draft pick and really what they have right now too. Concepcion would be a great fit with the weapons they have with his ceiling, which is really high, to go with Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey. Those three together would be great. 23, the Philadelphia Eagles. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson. The Eagles need to start thinking about post-Lane Johnson life here as he gets older, and Miller makes sense. He played right tackle in college, which is Johnson's position, and is a strong and tough player who is dependable. 24, the Cleveland Browns from Jacksonville Jaguars. Avion Terrell, cornerback, Clemson. The Browns with their second first rounder take the defensive back in Terrell. Injuries can possibly drop him out of round one, but is super talented with his feistiness and physicality. 25, the Chicago Bears. Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. This would be a nice pick for the Bears, who need some youth on the offensive line. He is a massive human and a great athlete who could start at either tackle or guard. 26, the Buffalo Bills. Peter Woods, defensive lineman, Clemson. The obvious choice for the Bills here is pass rush, and Woods would be a nice fit. He's a freak athlete with power and suddenness who is versatile, but was disappointing last season compared to the previous 2 years. 27, the San Francisco 49ers. Caleb Lomo, offensive tackle, Utah. Wide receiver probably makes the most sense here, but a tackle here wouldn't surprise me considering Trent Williams' situation. Even with Williams in the fold, Lomo at guard makes sense with its athleticism, patience, and movement in space. 28, the Houston Texans. Max Ihenacore, interior offensive line, Arizona State. The most obvious need among contenders is the Texans and offensive line help. Ihenacore is not the most polished prospect, but he does have a high ceiling and has the athleticism, size, and strength. 29, the Kansas City Chiefs from the Los Angeles Rams. Zion Young, edge, Missouri. With their second first rounder, the Chiefs can go pass rush with Young. He can collapse the pocket and defend the run, would fit nicely next to Chris Jones. 30, the Miami Dolphins from the Denver Broncos. Caden McDonald, defensive line, Ohio State. The Dolphins go defense again here, but this time pass rush for their second first rounder. McDonald excelled with stopping the run and would be a nice building block. 31, the New England Patriots. Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, Texas. The Patriots should be proud of the year they had, but they still have needs on the roster. Hill Jr. is a great athlete that has a high ceiling and would work well in Zach Kerr's defense. And 32, the Seattle Seahawks. Cassius Howell, edge, Texas A&M. The reigning Super Bowl champions make their championship defense better at snagging Howell. He does have short arms, which could hurt his draft stock, but his aggression and versatility make up for it. So there you have it for my first mock draft. Now we'll do on this day. We're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday today. So, April 9th, which was Friday, that's Thursday. Alright, so they skipped a day. April 11th is Saturday. They skipped Friday. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I guess nothing happened that day. Alright, on this day, April 11th, which is Saturday, 2024, O.J. Simpson passes away. Kentucky hires Mark Pope, also the same year. 2021, Hideki Matsuyama wins the Masters. 2019, Kings fire Dave Yeager. 2013, Zach Greinke breaks collarbone in brawl. 2019, Grizzlies fire J.B. Bickerstaff. Now JB's doing his thing with the Pistons. 2018, Timberwolves snap 14-year playoff drought. 2025, Nikola Jokic becomes third to average triple-double. 2014, Corey Brewer scores 51 points. 2018, Yankees Red Sox engage in a brawl. I kind of remember that brawl. Stanton was involved in it, I think. 2018 76ers finished the season on 16-game win streak. I don't really remember that. I know that was not the year that Kawhi beat them on the buzzer beater. And then 2019 Braves extend Ozzy Albies. That feels like so long ago. But the Sixers 16-game winning streak, I don't remember that at all. That was probably Embiid. I don't think Tobias Harris was there yet. I don't even remember who was on that team. I'm going to look that up. 16-game. Wow. So it was Markelle Fultz, Embiid. That team was not very good. JJ Redick. Wow, yeah, that's insane that they ripped off that many wins in a row. I didn't realize that. And now April 12th, which was yesterday. 2013, Kobe Bryant tears his Achilles. I remember that. 2015, Jordan Spieth wins the Masters. 2024, Arizona Coyotes relocating to Utah. 2021, Julian Edelman retires. Also 2021, Chet Holmgren commits to Gonzaga. 2019, Lakers Luke Walton part ways. 2025, Tennessee moves on from Nico Amaleva. 2017, Golden Knights hire Gerard Gallant, and the Stars hire Ken Hitchcock. 2018, the Knicks fired Jeff Hornacek, and the Magic fired Frank Vogel. In 2023, the Rays become the third team to start 12-0. I remember that. That was the year I put the big bet on the Orioles to win the AL East, and they did it. That was 3 years ago. Remember that very vividly. That was one of my better future hits. Maybe I'll do portfolio tomorrow. And then today, April 13th. 2016 Warriors break single season wins record. I remember that. I remember they had that on TV, and they had this game on TV. Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his final game. Mike Tirico called that game. And then Mike Breen had the Warrior game. And last year, Rory McIlroy wins the Masters. 2018, Cowboys released Des Bryant. 2023, Josh Harris purchasing Commanders. 2021, Jamal Murray tears his ACL. 2014, Bubba Watson wins the Masters. 2013, Rays tie record with 13-0 start. I can't believe they were 13-0. And they did make the playoffs that year. I remember they played the Red Sox. And the Red Sox beat them. Or is that in 21? That might have been in 21 when the Red Sox made the ALCS. Yes, because I remember they beat the Yankees to beat the Rays. And they could have beaten the Astros too. But the playoffs that year, I remember Baltimore won the division. Had that big bet on them. The AL Central was probably the Guardians. Maybe it was the Twins. But yeah, I have to look at that. 2016, the Wizards fired Randy Whitman. He was a bad coach. 2018, Hornets fired Steve Clifford. 2019, the Kings fired Luke Walton. 2020, the Panthers extend Christian McCaffrey, and then they ended up freaking trading him to the Niners. Alrighty, so there you have it for on this day. Now I want to talk about last week's episode of Survivor. So this Starts out with Jonathan and Dee arguing at camp following the blood moon, with Jonathan calling out Dee for lying. Coach vowed to revenge against Dee for her untrustworthy play. Stephanie was sent on a journey where she was forced to complete an endurance challenge, holding her hand above her head for an hour under a water tower. She wins the challenge, keeping her vote and earning a steal vote advantage, which she shared back with Siri at camp. Siri's like, I know she's lying. We'll see how far that goes. Alright, reward challenge. The reward challenge and the immunity challenge were together. Reward challenge. 2 teams of 7 had to navigate a large boulder through an obstacle course and complete a block puzzle. First team to finish won the reward of Chinese takeout and the opportunity to compete for individual immunity. So the team that won was Christian, Dee, Emily, Joe, Ozzy, Rick, and Stephanie. And then the other group that was out was Coach, Jonathan, Siri, Rizzo. I'm sorry saying that name made my phone go off. So let me say the names again. Siri, Rizzo, Jonathan, Aubrey, Coach, Tiffany, and who was the other one in the other side? Devins. Oh no, Devins was with Joe's group. Who was it? I'm blanking. So, Coach, Rizzo, Siri. Aubrey, Jonathan, Tiffany, and there's one more. I'm blanking on who it was. But yeah, who was it? Chrissy. That's what I was missing. And then immunity challenge was at timed intervals, each player had to move along a narrow beam while balancing an extended pole over their heads. At the end of the pole, a small circular disc held a rolling ball. The last person standing at the end of the beam won individual immunity, and the ball had to be on the disc. Ozzy won immunity over Joe. It was close, but Ozzy pulled it out. Rizzo finds out that Dee told Emily about his idol and considering voting her out. Coach wanted to split the votes between Dee and Tiffany, but he upset several players by dictating their votes for them. And at Tribal Council, Aubrey prayed her idol to take the target off her back. Dee played her shot in the dark, which was not safe, and Dee was voted out in an 8-4-1 vote over Tiffany and Coach. So, obviously, the one vote for Coach was from Dee. Tiffany voted for Dee. And the 4 people that voted for Tiffany, I think, were Coach, Joe, and Stephanie, and Ozzy. But yeah, they had to split the votes because they thought of the shot in the dark. Very interesting episode. I liked seeing Stephanie win that challenge. That was a big deal for her getting that steal a vote. Um, a poor decision of the episode, I think, was Aubrey playing her idol because um, now that she played her idol, she's gonna be out probably within. They flushed the idol. She played it, but it wasn't worth her playing it at this point. If she knew if she was in trouble, I would have waited to play that idol if I was Aubrey. I'm still sticking with Joe for my winner pick. I think he's played the game very well. And he's another, I'm going with the program kind of player. And those are the types of players that win. Like, we've seen Kenzie win it like that. Savannah was very popular. I think Joe should have won his season, as I've said numerous times on the show. So, individual immunity. I'm going to say Christian. I don't feel good about it. And who goes home? This is a good one. It's weird I'm going to say that Christian gets the necklace. But I think the one going home, that's a hard one. I think it's easy to say Coach. I think that's like the safe bet, or Ozzy. But I could totally see it being someone random, like a Chrissy, or like an Emily, or somebody like that. So I'm going to say the player that goes home. You know what? It looks like two people are going home next week. I'm going to say Coach and Rizzo. And maybe two individual immunities. I'm going to say Christian and Stephanie win individual immunities. I think Stephanie is playing her way into possible front runner status right there with Joe and Jonathan and these guys. All right, so there you have it for Survivor, the news and notes. So there's a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. So Mikal Bridges still has his Iron Man streak going on. He played 23 seconds in Game 82, and then he got subbed out, which was funny as hell. Nikola Jokic is eligible for awards, which is good. Luka to be reevaluated tomorrow, as the Lakers are likely without Luka and Austin Reeves for start round one. This would be the interesting thing, like if the Lakers get these guys back mid-series and say the Rockets are up like 3-1, 3-2, bet the Lakers in the series, and that's where you can get your value, possibly. So 2 Astros are on the injured list. Tatsuya Ime, arm fatigue, and Jeremy Pena with the hamstring. Nick Pivetta left with an injury. After retiring the first 9 batters. Christian Yelich left their game early against the Nats with left hamstring tightness. Tatis played second base the other day for the first time since 2021. The White Sox traded Lenyn Sosa to the Blue Jays for a minor league outfielder and player to be named later, or cash. How much you love the player to be named later, and then sometimes that team wins the trade. So the big news of last night was that Doc Rivers stepped down as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And that's sad. 32-50, and the Bucks will pay Doc for his final year of his 8-figure deal for 26-27. I don't think he was fired. I think it was a mutual parting of the ways, or he stepped down. And then Doc wishes Giannis the best, and is unsure of next move. And then Giannis says that the franchise holding him out was disrespectful. And then he had a message for those using quote-unquote sources to discuss his future. And the Kings are bringing back Doug Christie, which is crazy. And it came out that Doc blamed vets in the meeting as he called out a group of Bucks after feeling they had failed him. Klay Thompson talks about his future. Giannis says that Doc's exit was a shock to him. Anthony Davis is weighing a commitment to be playing with the Wizards. 5 teams eyeing a trade down, including the Browns and the Giants, who are struggling to find partners for draft deals. They're probably asking for a lot from teams like the Cowboys who want to move up. And those are 2 teams that, I mean, the Giants are looking to trade down because they traded up for Jackson Dart last year. So it does make a lot of sense. The WNBA draft is tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. And there's a lot of free agent stuff. Alana Smith, 3-year max deal to the Aces. Or I'm sorry, to the Wings with Paige Beckers. Kelsey Plum back to the Sparks. 1 year, almost $1 million. The Valkyries are signing Gabby Williams to a multi-year deal. Rakia Jackson got traded to the Chicago Sky for Ariel Atkins. The Lynx re-signed Courtney Williams, 2-year max deal. The Dreams general manager, Dan Padaver, says that the Angel Reese trade was a no-brainer. Keaton Wagler declares for the NBA draft from Illinois. There's talk that Alex Ovechkin might not be retiring after all. The Red Wings got booed off the ice for missing the playoffs for the 10th straight year, as they should be. Like, you went out and got Patrick Kane, you got to this great start of the season, you fell apart. And Jared Bednar had to miss the road trip after being hit in the face with the puck, the Avalanche coach. We talked about Vegas clinching. Noah Schultz to make MLB debut. That's the White Sox number 2 pitching prospect ahead of tomorrow's game against the Rays. Devin Atkins and the Dolphins not close on a contract extension. Maybe that's a trade candidate for the draft. Jonathan Quick to retire on winningest U.S. born goalie ever, calling it a career, so congrats to Jonathan Quick. An NHL agent poll did among worst teams, this is the Athletic, among them the Rangers, the Canucks, and the Maple Leafs. That just says a lot about Chris Drury, in my opinion. The team was good a couple years ago, and now they're bad. And I just don't think they got enough in trades. And obviously, guys, like some draft picks have not panned out either. That's where they are right now. It's unfortunate. Um, North Carolina is hiring Kim English. He'll be joining Michael Malone's staff. That's a good assistant hire. Illinois gets former Providence star Stefan Vaux. So Jackson Shellstead of Oregon going to Louisville, as well as former Kansas star Flory Bigunga. They're both going to Louisville, so those are good pickups. Milan Momkovic of Iowa State going to the draft as well. And that's it for news and notes. All right, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Like I said, in the baseball segment, I lost best bet. I honestly thought it was too easy for best bet with that under in the Cubs game. But the best bet on the board there's a couple I like, a couple overs I like. But it is also hard. And plus there's a couple hockey totals I like as well. So I decided for best bet the under in Sharks Predators. There's a couple hockey unders I like that one. I like the Leafs Stars under, but because I think it's going to be a low scoring, tight game. So I'm going under 6.5 between the Sharks and the Predators for my best bet of the day. So there you have it for today. I know, long show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking at tomorrow. And I'm doing a separate show for the playoffs as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.